So Kippa,
Yes.
what do you know about bounce?
I know it used to confuse the heck out of me. I never knew what it was. Honestly, it was just such a mystery to me, what it did, why it did it. But I learned, and now I've learned, it's so important on every wedge shot, every bunker shot, any chip shot you have. So what I know is basically this little device, the blade, is like a bulldozer. Anytime it goes through the turf, if you open it up and have the bottom bounce or sole more touching the ground, it just won't, disrupt the turf as much, or the sand, or anything that you're testing. If you lie it, let's call it level, so the sole is flat with the ground, effective bounce, it won't dig much. It'll dig a little bit, but it won't dig much because it's got protection. But if you take the bounce away, and now you've just got your leading edge there, and the bounce is kind of, let's call it irrelevant, it will dig quite a lot, right? So until I understood that that's what it did, I didn't really get that by me changing the blade in terms of opening it up or laying it back, I was really disrupting what the club could do. And the old school clubs, just devastating the way they used to dig with no bounce.
And take out a beautiful clean divot.
So is that right?
Along the top.
I hope that's right.
Well, it actually doesn't matter if it is right or wrong. One of the key things in using the Ping Glide 4.0 wedges is that you've actually got a variety of grinds, a variety of soles, and effectively a variety of effective bounces that suit and marry up to different shot types.
Which makes me so happy, because basically these, well, down looking at them, they're all visually different. Some have got the toes grinded off, some have got the entire backs grinded off. But I used to have to do that with a grinder. I've ruined so many of my clubs with an actual handheld grinder, trying to get these to marry up to the shots that I like to play. But now you can choose.
So when it came to actually hitting some shots, so we set up 3 shots.
Right.
And we needed to choose between the two of us which grind or sole option we preferred. So we had a lob shot off a tight lie over a bunker.
Yep.
We had the bunker shot, and we had a pitch shot.
And what was amazing about this is that it wasn't the same one we chose. That's what I loved about it. It was a different club almost every time.
And it highlights exactly why we have to have variety. So in the Ping Glide 4.0 wedges, you've actually got 4 sole grinds.
Yep.
So you've got T, you've got S, you've got W, which is the wide sole, and then you've got the E, the I2. But for the purposes of our experiment, the I2 is quite a distinctive shape, and therefore you're not really comparing apples with apples. Whereas these 3, the T, the S and the W, are the same shape.
And they all look the same from the top.
With the big variation being the sole.
Yeah.
Okay, so when it came to the tight lob shot over the trap, which normally gives you the heebie-jeebies, as it does me.
See, and this one, it was a massive tick for the tee for me, because the back's ground off so much that I like to lie it open. I like to have the shaft reasonably vertical, so I've got protection, but more importantly, so that the leading edge doesn't sit too high where I feel like I'm going to blade it and kill someone in the background. So for me, it was that's the tee all day.
Yes, whereas for me it was the S.
Yeah.
So this is the point about attack angles or skill or anything else, or even turf conditions. But it was the S for me, because the S did have a little bit of bounce. And I chunked them. I hit lobs, get scared, and hit them 3 feet.
I was going to say, you're pretty good at it until the camera comes on, and then no good.
But that's the reality. And then the bunker shot.
Yeah,
So,
bunker shot for me, definitely the S. And the reason for the S is because it's got an entire slight grind front to back, and I always hit my trap shot with a slightly open blade. Yet again, I don't want it digging, but I still want some protection down there. So I open it up so the bounce or the effective bounce is more there than if I have it level, but I like a little bit of the heel gone for it.
Yeah, so whereas for me, again, out of bunkers, the biggest danger for me, I never hit the fat out of bunkers. I kill people on the other side of the greens. So I actually need something that's more inclined to dive in, as opposed to, well, in my mind. And that's what worked.
Yeah.
More inclined to dive in as opposed to skim across the surface, like a pair of skis.
Yeah.
So I'd err on the T side, whether it makes sense or not.
Yep. And that's the other thing too, is that it's about like that bulldozer effect. If you haven't got the confidence or you need help, that's where the grind is brilliantly designed for you. So you've got the help or you've got the protection.
And then your pitch shot.
Well, the pitch shots, I get too steep on them. Always have. I've fought that my entire life. I get too steep and I trap them, so I need as much bounce as anyone can give me. If I go to an old school club and literally that little butter knife starts biting the turf, it ends in disarray for me. So no, the W for me all day.
Which was the one thing we agreed on. Because again, at that side of the shot, I am inclined again to chunk it. all day, every day. Whereas I'd rather put the people on the other side of the green in danger. So the idea that I can actually attack it more because I've got a little bit more bounce. But this is the point, is that we're all unique. And with the Ping Glide 4.0, you've got a grind for each of us.
Exactly right, and you can match the shot you want to play, the conditions you play at your course, and your style of application to your short game with a wedge. And that makes me happy.
Glad something makes you happy.
Now, which one do I want to play?